Greetings, Cleveland, and welcome to Conversations with Cal, the show that initiates engaging conversations. With Father's Day right on the horizon, our topic today is fatherhood. And I'm honored and thrilled to have as my guest the councilman from Ward 5, Mr. Richard A. Starr. Councilman, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Cal, for the invitation and the opportunity to be on the show. This is a great topic. I'm interested in having this great conversation and dialogue.
Well, let's start the conversation. So, when I got the idea that I wanted to do the show and I wanted to do it in accordance with Father's Day, you were the first person that I thought of as my guest. I mean, the work you've done with Cleveland youth, back with the Boys and Girls Club in 2008, I think you started, and as an activist, and then now the councilman for Ward 5. Yes. The advocacy you've done for kids is just extraordinary for me, because I've gone through the same thing. So, other connections, graduate of East Tech High School, the Mighty Scarabs.
Yeah.
Proud alpha men.
Hey, to the day I die.
And, I worked at King Kennedy, and I know you grew up there. So, working with kids is not for everybody. To me, it's a gift.
Yes.
Tell me, when did you get the inspiration to teach, to mentor, to coach young people?
Well, it all stems from just growing up in King Kennedy and wanted to make your way out. You just try to figure out what is the best thing to do. But one of the things I was fortunate when I was in college was looking back at my life to see that I had a lot of good male role models. Stemming from Coach Phil, who coached me over at Lonnie Burton when I played for AK, the Redskins, now called CMHA. We'll call Cleveland Renegades as of today, and I'm now able to help fund the program now. But just having those coaches, then Coach Mike, Coach Juice, and then you go into having the president of Boys and Girls Club, Ron Soder, then the staff at the Boys and Girls Club, Ron Harris, Lee Hudson, and when you think about even Suarez, who is now working for the city and in athletics and recreation, you're just thinking about all these different men with all different ethnic backgrounds. They are the ones that helped me. So when I was in college and got a chance to come back for my freshman year for summer break, I called the Boys and Girls Club, and the president, who was my mentor at the time, still is my mentor, Ron Soder, he said, "Yeah, we got a job for you." And that was the introduction into working with youth. And that's when I figured out that I don't want to be an attorney. But I said I'd much rather wanted to work in just a public nonprofit sector, but giving back. So around 2008, that summer of 2008 was when it really clicked to me. And I always believe in the quote, you find something that you're very passionate about and you genuinely care about, you never work a day in your life. And that's how it's been for me almost the last 16 years.
Talk about the importance of fatherhood as you see it, because a lot of times, like coaches, teachers, mentors, they take the place of biological fathers. Talk about the importance of that.
The importance of fatherhood is because there's a sometimes often in society they are talking about how fathers are absent. And it's up to my generation to carry a different torch to say, no, we are absent. And I'm proud to say most of the friends that I have that I am close to and are good associates with that have children are excellent fathers. The importance of having a father is a father's presence, a father's message, a father's pathway to fatherhood can be very positive in the household. Even though we know through the past, the government was the ones who helped push fatherhood out, it's up to us to say we need to restore that by being there. It's very important. Our kids are crying out for help. If you look at what's going on in our city, if you look at what's going on in our country, our kids want their fathers there. They need their fathers there. But we also got to understand that there's no blueprint to fatherhood. But we have to create that foundation and help it. So I'm just honored to be able to be a father figure to so many children who are now, some of them are young adults now, but being able to mentor some of them while I was growing is something great, which happens with fathers. Sometimes you're a father at 18 and you look up, your kid is graduating high school, and you like, I'm in my mid-30s, and you dealing with it from a whole different realm because you grew together, but that's where there's no blueprint. But you got to understand, being there, being financial supportive, being there to be an ear, and also to teach them right from wrong, and also being able to stand on business with your child. Do not let your child just do whatever they want. You got to be a parent, not a friend. A parent must guide their kids, and even if it sometimes breaks their feelings in their heart, that shouldn't bother you. You need to be able to let them know what the truths are and how to do things, and that's the very importance of having a father, because a father is going to do that as well.
Talk about growing up in King Kennedy. You know, I worked there in the early 1970s, and you know, I coached the kids, and I used to get my father's '65 Ford Fairlane, and then fill the car up with the kids, head out to Red Shield, which was actually the Salvation Army on 76th and Central, and we would play until 9, and then I'd take the kids back. And you know, even at that time, man, I didn't even have a driver's license.
Hey, we was making it happen.
I had to do what I had to do, you know. But talk about growing up in King Kennedy, because I had an extraordinary time there when I worked there with the kids.
Oh man, so you was there during them Griff days.
I was there with the Biggins.
Yeah.
Donald Biggins was my, in fact, we called Donald Biggins Baseline Big, because he used to hit the jumper from the
baseline. Okay. See, that's look how that memory still passed. You said from in the 70s. We're talking about almost 40-something years, almost 50 years ago.
Right.
And when you think about that time frame of how it still lights your face up and make your smile just go from ear to ear, is something great. So my childhood memory growing up in King Kennedy, I was born in the 80s in King Kennedy, and at the time they were saying it was really rough. And what they were saying the rough was because you had the crack epidemic has hit, people were living in survival mode, and you know, they started preying on each other, but then we knew we were selling drugs. But one thing that I often remember is just my times that I spent in the Boys and Girls Club. Rather there was stuff going on outside of the community, rather there was things going on that I just couldn't control, it always was a place that I have. And one of the things I would tell people, a lot of my mentors that raised me were guys that were from the neighborhood, that was on the street, that were from the block. And not them being judged or anything, there were things that they really mentored me on. They taught me about sportsmanship, they taught me about leadership, they taught me about making the right choices and decisions, having full-fledged conversations about things they wish they could have done and went back and did, to them also transitioning and turning their lives around today. So I have friends that were in the streets or hustling at the time that were still mentors and big brothers and always protected me, and so my time growing up in King Kennedy was great. Some of the best time. I remember nights that we'd be out all night, hanging out, kicking it, laughing, cracking the jokes, learning how to fight each other, because you're gonna take this whooping, and if you take this whooping, you're not going home crying to nobody. Crying and coming out of your mom yelling, he was trying to be tough and he got spanked. And it taught me how to, take a loss. And if you take that L, it's not just the end of the world. It can help build you up to become something greater. So I've took them losses, but I also been able to be molded as something that is very, very tough, meaning I don't mind speaking up and standing up, because that's how it had to be in my neighborhood. I remember most of my friends and good friends that I'm real close to are 7, 8 years older than me. So they may be 15, I may be 13, 15 years old. They're in their early 20s, and I always was their little brother, and I was always with the older guys. But then also out of my age group, I was almost seemed like I was older as well, because I'm always with the big brothers. And that's something that is very good. But the neighborhood, without King Kennedy, without growing up in King Kennedy, I would not be the man I am. Without being in there and being able to go to the Boys and Girls Club to clean everything up, as far as me, my persona, my knowledge, my wisdom, everything that I have, my integrity, my values, my morals, it comes from King Kennedy. And King Kennedy has made me. So I'm proud to say I'm a product of my environment that I grew up in, but also I'm one who also trying to take it to the next level and passing the torch on to someone else so they can understand how we're going to do this for the next 30, 40 years. And number one focus is taking care of our kids and taking care of our constituents.
Talk about the journey from King Kennedy to East Tech to Baldwin Wallace?
Oh, man.
Briefly, just.
So real briefly, the second oldest born to Simone Wallace and Richard Starr, my dad. I'm named after my father. Okay. My mom gave me a middle name, so I think she was messing with my dad. So the real transition is my mom. She has an older sister, and my grandma on my mom's side, just my mom and my grandma, and both my mom and my aunt both had 6 children. So I'm the second oldest of 6 children. My dad is the second to last of 8 children. His father was a functional drunk, alcoholic, but he was a great man that can do anything when you talk about construction, trades, anything, very wisdom. So my father lost his mom at 14 years old. She died of cancer, so my father was on his own ever since he was 14. He eventually went in and out of prison. I was born and raised in King Kennedy during the 80s and brought up through the 90s. As that time period, I went to George Washington Carver, Central Middle School.
I went to Central.
I went to Central.
Yeah. What was our mascot?
We got the Trojan.
The Trojans.
We had the Trojan.
Right. And the newspaper was a good traveler.
Yes.
A good traveler makes a good traveler makes a great companion, or something similar to that. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I
got a little nostalgia.
When you talking about that Central, if they don't know about Central Middle School or Central School at all, I don't know if they from Ward 5. I don't know. But then that transition from 8th grade, I went on to East Technical High School, where I was able to flourish from my skill sets. I was in honor roll society. I graduated with a 3.7 GPA, was the class president, prom king, MVP of the football team. Just learning who I am. And one of the things my friends used to say is like, y'all forget he know how to fight now. I mean, and at the same time, what that mean was, it's not just, I'm very authentic. I'm not just a book smart guy or just a street savvy guy because I can blend, but I also know what it takes. So I had great times growing up, great moments, great times. Despite whatever the media or some folks may say, I love my neighborhood. I love King Kennedy. I love down the way. I love Ward 5, because if you can make it down here, you can make it in Ward 5, you can make it anywhere. Yeah. And we get it out the mud, but we laid a foundation of what we wanted to be for our community. So I love it. And shout out to all my brothers and my sisters, the parents. Shout out to the moms. Shout out to them single parent fathers as well, because we do have some fathers that are in our lives, in a lot of our children's lives. And I'm just fortunate enough to say that since 2017, since my father been home from prison, we've developed one of the best relationships that I've had in a while, and I'm just proud that he's been home after doing all that time in prison, back and forth, for him saying enough is enough. To me now, one of the most pivotal times of my life, entering into this public servant life and work, I'm able to have a father that I can really talk to me about different things that you just don't often quite say in the public, to just get an unbiased opinion. So I'm proud of fatherhood, proud of my dad. I'm glad that he's here and doing great work, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of King Kennedy. Yeah. And I've got a video of the King Kennedy's kids that I want to share with the audience. So let's take a look at this video of the King Kennedy kids.
I hope it's no shooting while I'm sleeping. If I hear shooting, I'm gonna get under my bed. Growing up in this neighborhood in King Kennedy is not the best living environment. It's not the easiest. The stereotypes exist in which there is quote unquote what people call gangs. There is violence, there is drugs. In the neighborhood, there's very little bit of resources outside of a place like the Boys and Girls Club for kids to have a safe fun at. My name is Rashiel and I'm 10 years old. My name is Andre and I'm 10 years old. My name is Javea and I'm 7. Right now this is Renaissance, which is one of like 3 parts of King Kennedy. You have Renaissance, Delaney, and the Phoenix Village. I had the pleasure of growing up in Delaney. What's up, babe? What's up, you all right? Huh? What's up? What's up? You all right? Yep. My name is Chance and I'm 10 years old. My name is Christian and I'm 7.
My name is Jayla and I'm 7 years old.
My name is Kizaya, I'm 12.
My name is LeJay and I'm 10 years old.
A couple weeks ago, somebody got shot and all the blood was right here. Puddles of blood right here. What do you say to a 11-year-old kid, a 9-year-old kid, and even a 4-year-old child who asks why all this blood is in front of my house when I'm on my way outside to go play on the playground? I wish they could be exposed to more safer neighborhoods in which they don't have to think about the negative or hear or actually see people riding down the streets while they're playing and shooting at them.
It was me and my friend just at the basketball court. Then they did a drive-by at the basketball court and they started shooting, then we ran home.
But at the same time, with all these negative things that surround the kids, there's always some positive in which it's still a loving community. That's what makes our people so great, is because even at the bottom, when there's nothing and they don't have no money, they have a little bit of food coming in the household, they make do to feed everybody. And then they be doing all that. So I think that's probably the reason why people stay. Like if I go to the heights or the suburbs and I can't afford that living, guess what? I don't got nothing coming.
I'm trying to get my thing off the ground.
Oh, okay.
Time clean.
I see you.
I'm just passing.
In the central community, in this King County community, it's a rough neighborhood in which it teach you how to handle things with tough love.
My name is Mariah and I'm 10 and a half.
What I like most about my life is I have a great family, and every time they argue, they get back together. So that's great for me, because I like my family to stick together.
I'm Cornell Calhoun III, host of Conversations with Cal. Join me as I sit down with fascinating people from all walks of life to dive deep into their stories, passions, and the unique perspectives that they bring. Whether it's political figures, community activists, business owners, or musicians, we explore it all. Real conversations with real people. So grab a seat, get comfy, and join us on this journey of discovery and connection. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you never miss an episode of Conversations with Cal. Yeah, man, doing great work,
Thank you.
So, how do you balance, your efforts in terms of the Cleveland youth with now the job at City Council? How do you balance that?
The way you balance things is, one, so once you take office, you still keep your same cell phone number. You don't switch that up. So my personal cell phone is the same personal number that I had back in 2010, up until now, because at any given time, those youth that are now young adults may need to reach out and get a lifeline and just have a conversation. So the way I try to balance things is, one, thanks to the staff in my office. Major shout out to Jessica, my executive assistant, Destiny as well. Then go from Jad to Marvin, who's interning. All four of them keep me on balance and on track to be able to do things. But also just understanding that I made a commitment. If I've been a father figure to you since you were younger, I cannot decommit because I'm in a different role. So balancing your schedule, having that open line of communication, also being very versatile on social media helps you out, so you could be able to stay grounded, stay connected, so you can see what they're doing, have those interactions, but just always understanding. Being a father figure is not just a title somebody wears, it's about the action. So doing what you say you're gonna do, being supportive and being helpful. There's no sense of me becoming a council person and not being able to help those individuals that need help. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to run for office.
Talk about the mentorship with some of the people that you've had as a small person and now, and some of your success stories, because I know you got a lot, because I got a lot, so I know you got a lot.
Oh man, so just talking about the mentorship, and my mentor's tough. You can't come to them crying and moping, and if I'm looking for sympathy and empathy, that ain't getting it from my mentors. They just didn't give that.
Right.
They laid it straight to you, cut and dry. And what we call it is, it's not hot or cold. You either or. You either or, you're not lukewarm. And one of the things I understand, like if they with something, they with it. If they don't believe in it, they don't support it, they're not. They're not no, oh, well, okay, maybe. That's something that I'm thankful for, and they are still this way today. I get calls from my mentors like, nah, let's talk about what you just said. and it also gives me, their fair point. But one thing I'm proud to say that I have so many children that I've mentored. I could go down from the Lucky, the Jacquees, Kyron, Markel Johnson, Myron Thomas. They're playing professional basketball overseas. To Lamont, my son Lamont. Then I go to my latest group, my latest group of the babies who are now young adults, from the Marvins, the Rails, the Antonios. They are all playing good football. I've been playing sports in college, doing great things. And I believe that I tell the kids this, that mentor. If you listen to the Team Star, and you follow the trajectory and the things that we have in place, you will be successful. Now, if you sidetrack and veer off and want to do your own thing, I'm not saying you can't, but I'm telling you there's certain things that we do. There's certain stuff I'm just not going to tolerate. I'm not going to tolerate you being disrespectful in your house. I'm not tolerating you having bad grades. I'm not tolerating you just getting suspended. I'm not tolerating you not having anything in your plan, because I believe it is firm. We are living in a society where you have all the time to think about what you want to do. That is not true. I believe if you're an African-American minority person in this city, in this country, you need to have a plan. You don't have tomorrow to figure it out. Your plan is here because you're one choice, one decision away to losing it all. So having a plan helps guide you. So to my kids who graduated high school, one of the first things I always urge them to do, you got to finish school. You can't come around me talking about you got bad grades and you go to school every day. That's just something I'm not tolerating. And we can go whatever conversation you need to get it figured out with, we can do that. But don't be coming to me about I need help on this, I want shoes this, I want all these different things, but you fell in the classroom. If you need a tutor, we get you a tutor. You need help, have you spoke to your teacher? Have you done these things? So I'm teaching you how to be a leader and also how to do things on your own. I don't need your mom and you 12 years old. I don't need your mom calling me trying to tell me excuses why you can't make practice or why you can't do this. No, you 12 years old, you old enough to text, you old enough to make a post on social media and drop a caption. So you can old enough to pick up the phone and have a conversation about anything that you're having with me. And that's just tough love, but that's the reality. We can't coddle our babies. We gotta make sure they get the support they need, but also help them figure out their plan and their trajectory. So I'm proud of all my babies. I know I got Rob and Nate and them, my Mount Pleasant kids, my West Side kids, from Hector, who is now a police officer for Cleveland Police, down to every one of the babies. Man, I have so many kids. I've been fortunate enough to work on the West Side, Mount Pleasant neighborhood, King Kennedy, and Huff neighborhood, where I have kids all over. So I'm just proud,
Councilman, tell me something that you've learned from your long time mentoring, a lesson that you've learned in mentoring youth.
Oh, the lesson that I learned with mentoring youth is the youth they would trust you if you build that rapport. You can't just say I'm your mentor because I just got a job somewhere. You have to really be there. And if you say you're gonna do something, do it. You can't be someone else that has walked in and out of their lives. You have to be cemented into their lives, but also you gotta meet the youth where they are at and understand your path and their path may be similar, but you got to be willing to open up your mind to get an understanding, to get to know that child. And once you do that, you can lead them to the right pond for them to drink forever instead of you just giving them water bottles. That is something I'm very instrumental in, and something I've learned throughout the journey is how the trade programs can really help a kid out and help young people out. So I believe that being responsible, being caring, showing up and being your true self with the kids, as well as opening up doors for them, is something that is a duty that I'm obligated to do, and this is a commitment that I am in for the long haul.
In terms of conversation, so I'm gonna give you one.
All right.
So I want to share a mentor story. I'm gonna do one, and then I want you to do one.
Okay.
Okay. So my sophomore year in college, Talladega College, Talladega, Alabama.
Yeah.
I'm coming home, getting ready for the next season. And I was working at Warren and Swayze, but I would get up every morning, 6 a.m., go to Central Middle School, we call it Central Junior High at that time, and I would work out. And like one particular day, I was working out, going through my routines, and there were 3 kids with a basketball who were shooting at another basket, and they just came down and started watching me. And so I said, hey, you guys want to work out? And they was like, nah, Cal, we not good. We tried out for the team, we got cut. I said, hey, man, well, you got to work. You got to put the work in.
Yeah.
So for that entire summer, I worked these kids out. Fast forward December, I come home for Christmas. I only got 3 days because we got a holiday tournament.
Yeah.
I take the cab from the airport, let me off at East 43rd and Cedar.
Yeah, all right.
As I'm walking to my apartment, one of my former teachers from Central Middle School is leaving. And he's like, Cornell. He's like, hey, how you doing? I said, yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm just home from college. He said, hey, Central's playing Kennard up there. I'm like, what? He said, yeah. So I run in, kiss my mom. I'm out the door. She said, where you going? You just got here,
Yeah.
I said, hey, it's a game up in Central. But,
I'm going.
She knows. I go to the school. I know the custodian. He lets me in. I'm sitting down. The 3 kids, Alan Paul, Haywood Lavelle, and Jim Glover are on the court. And after the game, they beat Kennard.
Yes.
The kids come up to me, and they just hug me. There's no words spoken, and that's the thank you. The story. That's my story. Now I want you to share one. I know you got a million.
Man, a story that I would share with you about the youth is every time I'm able to go up to the football field. So last year during the summer, there was a lot of crime going on, and then I rode past Outhway, coming past Outhway, past Lonnie Burton, where the football field is at the Dwayne Browder Field. We got to do some upgrades on that field as well. And I noticed that it's around this time of the year, and I'm like, there's usually 100, 150 kids right now on the field getting ready for football. And then I looked up and didn't see that. I seen about 35, 40 kids, and I immediately got in contact with the coaches of the football team and said, hey, what's going on? What you need? What's going on? And after having a conversation with them, I got in my office, sent some emails, talked to some folks, and I said, we're going to put some money to our football program. And then the next day or the next week, we had a press conference, and I went up to the football field, and then I seen a whole bunch of group of kids. And when I walked up, we just started practicing. I got my cleats out the car, and I started calling up conditioning and just getting it together. So my greatest moment with our kids is just being able to see them as themselves and being able to help them, and just stories from along. Like I can go into stories when I had with kids. I could tell a story of when Markel Johnson was playing for East Tech, and my baby boy, truth told, he was not a morning person. He did not want to get up. So I just remember moments of getting up every morning, picking him up, taking him to school, or he's staying at my house, getting up so I can work out early morning at 5 in the morning because he got to be to school by 8. And if I don't get this workout in, we both ain't gonna make it.
Right.
So just those sacrifices with our kids.
He went on to play for North Carolina State,
NC State, yes. Now he's been playing overseas professional basketball for about the last 3.5, 4 years. Yeah. So he just got back to Cleveland yesterday. And then the same story with I got with Myron Thomas, who is now playing overseas, who came out of Central Catholic School, also went to Ball State, and also came out of Kent State too. So
I remember, I got to share an East Tech story with you, man. So I remember in 1966, we're playing. We're the #1 team, but John Adams had a great squad, and we actually had lost. We had a loss. John Adams was undefeated. They were running up hundreds. So the big game was on Friday night. It was a Friday night, big game. We played at Case Tech. We played Case Tech back then because any significant game, like if we played Adams or East, we had to play at Tech a neutral site where people could come see it. So everybody was hamped, we playing John Adams, and somebody made a sign that said Tech can't lose, and he started wearing it. early in the morning. And before the end of the day, everybody had that sign.
Tech,
can't lose.
Tech, yeah.
We went out to Case and beat John Adams 75-66.
Ooh.
And the Plain Dealer article headline was, East Tech Cagers whoop it up on gloomy night for the Adams family.
But that's the spirit of Tech. Like, I think our alumni base is one of the strongest in the city.
It is.
Once we get behind our babies, and the Alumni Association, they do their thing to making sure that we all stay connected, because our kids need us. They need to understand that history. Like, a lot of folks don't understand the legends that have came out, from Jesse Harrison Dillard to the first African American mayor of a major city, Carl Stokes, Louis Stokes, to yourself. It's just so many legendary individuals who have came out of East Tech and have made significant marks in this country, in this city. Hey, Scarabs is the way to go.
Councilman, what are you looking forward to for Father's Day, June 16th?
So what I'm looking for Father's Day is, I need the same energy we did for Mother's Day. I need it for Father's Day first. I'm looking for just a barbecue, the hangouts, the conversations, the jokes, the laughters, the opportunity just to celebrate men. And I think we have to get back to celebrating our men, because they do a lot of different folks. Fathers, you never know when they're mad, angry, sad. You just can feel it. And that feeling is something that we need to just sometimes take a break, kick back, drink a cold one, celebrate with your kids, having that dialogue, and just be around your loved ones. So for Father's Day this year, I'm looking to be able to have on my hoochie daddy, shorts and flip-flops, and just really kick it with the family, and just see that all over, and just see all the positive messages that you may see on social media, people just highlighting their father. I just want to see that throughout Father's Day, because fathers do a lot as well, and sometimes we need to highlight that more often than not.
Are there any resources that a person could go to if they want help with, a child or?
Oh, definitely. Al Grimes Fatherhood Initiative over at Cuyahoga County.
I just had him on the show.
He actually got an event coming up on next
June
week.
the 14th.
Yeah, June 14th. So I'm actually going to be participating in that event.
Okay.
Also, just people understand, my colleague, Councilman Kevin Conwell, was one of the actual founders of Fatherhood Initiative. He actually became a national recipient at the White House, and he got an award for being a great father, one of the best fathers that this nation has gave an award to from the president. Wow. So just those type of things, being able to do that. If you need resources, reach out, ask individuals, call the Cuyahoga County. Al Grimes, he can help you fathers out. But then also look at the other leaders. There are different resources. I would tell people, fathers, to be present. There's ways to help you out. If you're struggling in something, there's different things. I'm a proud member. I am the proud chairman for the reentry for Cuyahoga County, so coalition. So if people having reentry problems and needs help with jobs, opportunities, careers, I can help connect you to different people and different organizations. You can reach out to my office as well. But just understanding that, fathers, I need you to be there, be present, and any help that you need, we can do this together.
Councilman, thanks for hanging out with me today, man. It's been a blast. We'll have to do it again.
Oh, man, this is the first of many conversations. It's always great. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
All right.
So that's it, Cleveland. But remember, if you don't like what's being said, change the conversation. I'm Cornell Calhoun III for TV 20. We are Cleveland.